In the previous video, I already made a video about the full kit of Evernight, which will be released in version 3.6. And of course, it wouldn't be complete if we didn't talk about Danheng PT, the latest version of Danheng that will be released alongside Evernight in that version. Danheng PT has a unique kit where he can grant the Bondmate status to one teammate. If a target has a Bondmate, Danheng will summon the dragon considered to belong to that Bondmate teammate, allowing buffs like Sunday's skill to have maximum effect. Additionally, because he can provide a shield to team members, Phainon's kit is maximized, such as his trace, which can increase damage by up to 45% when he gains a shield. Can the presence of Danheng Permansor Terrae drastically change the sustained composition in the current meta? So without waiting any longer, I'm Hoyo Station and let's right into the full kit discussion for Danheng PT version 3.6. Let's do this. Do you have a character or weapon in the game that you really want but you don't have enough stellar jades? Here is a smarter way to recharge your favorite games like Genshin Impact and honkaistarrail. Look no further than Lootbar. Lootbar is the most reliable top-up platform. It saves up to 23% for all orders compared with the official channel, and it provides an 80% off for your first purchase. It's 100% safe as you will only be using your UID. We will buy pack for 30,000 stellar jades for $42, which otherwise would have costed $50, totally saving $7.5. We received the crystals we purchased in the less than 3 minutes. All recharges will be done through the official channel with miHoyo, which allows you to enjoy all top-up offers. Ready to level up your gaming experience? Check the link in the description to get the amazing discount. Okay, as usual, we will start by discussing his base stats. As you can see in the image, Danheng PT has a lower base HP compared to Aventurine, who has a similar path. Then for base attack, Danheng has a base attack of 485 points, which is similar to Aventurine with the difference about 40 points. It's quite unfortunate, as Danheng PT himself has scaling shields through attack, so he should have a high base attack. Something quite interesting lies in the fact that the base defense of Danheng PT is quite high at 849 points, which is even higher than Aventurine, who only has 655 points despite having scaling against defense. Of course, this is quite natural, considering that Danheng won't have many defense stats, making him vulnerable to being defeated by enemies. Another regrettable thing is that the base speed of Danheng are quite low, at 97 points. If we compare to Aventurine, who has a base speed of 106 points, the difference is quite high, around 9 points, which means we need to find higher speed stats on Relic. But the good news is, Danheng PT has a trace that can give him a 40% direct action boost at the start of battle, so this lack of speed points can be well overcome. Lastly, regarding maximum energy, Danheng PT has a maximum energy of 140 points, which is quite reasonable considering he can provide a shield in many ways. Next, we will delve into his skills, which are quite an important kit, guys. Named Terra Omnibus. This skill will target one teammate to become a Bondmate, then provide a shield to all team members equal to 30% of Danheng's attack plus 400 points for 3 turns. When teammates receive shields repeatedly, the shield effect can stack, but cannot exceed 300% of the shield provided by this skill. Bondmate only applies to the last target of this skill. Well, in short, this skill provides a shield to all teammates and makes one teammate a Bondmate. Bondmate has a unique feature in that it contains a summon belonging to Danheng PT, named Soul Dragon. The advantage of this status is that certain effects like Sunday's skill, Benison of Paper and Rights will immediately give action advance to the Bondmate and Soul Dragon, and provide a maximum buff of 80% damage increase. Additionally, the amount of shield provided also depends on the amount of attack Danheng PT has, so we need to have a lot of attack stats to make the shield stronger. Then we will move on to his ultimate ability called a Dragon's Zenith no Snoru. This ultimate will deal 300% of Danheng's attack as physical damage to all enemies and provide a shield equivalent to his skill, which is 30% of Danheng's attack plus 400 points for 3 turns. When teammates receive shields repeatedly, The shield effect can stack, but cannot exceed 300% of the shield provided by this skill. After using this ultimate, Soul Dragon will be strengthened, and when the Soul Dragon takes action, it will trigger a follow-up attack that deals damage equal to 80% of the Bondmate's attack to all enemies, based on the Bondmate's type. This enhancement for the Soul Dragon lasts for up to 2 Soul Dragon actions. Well, his ultimate has an interesting effect, guys. In addition to providing the same shield as his skill, this ultimate will also allow the Soul Dragon to launch a follow-up attack whose damage will match the attack of his Bondmate. Of course, with this effect, we are required to use a main DPS that scales with attack to maximize the damage from the Soul Dragon, such as Phainon and Saber. Additionally, the attack type of the Soul Dragon will follow the type of its Bondmate. For example, if we make Alexa a Bondmate, then when the Soul Dragon launches a follow-up attack, the resulting damage will be wind damage according to Anexa's type. With the follow-up attack from Soul Dragon, Danheng PT is not just a shielder, he can also contribute significant damage. Next, we will move on to his talent section, called Of Virtue Forms Unfold. When a teammate becomes a Bondmate, Danheng PT will summon Soul Dragon with an initial speed of 165 points. Then, when the Soul Dragon takes action, it will remove 1 debuff from all team members and provide a shield equal to 15% of attack and 200 HP, lasting for 3 turns. When teammates receive the shield repeatedly, the shield effect can stack but cannot exceed 300% of the shield provided by this skill. Soul Dragon itself will disappear when Danheng PT or a Bondmate is defeated. The effect of this talent will provide important information about Danheng PT's summon named Soul Dragon. You need to remember that the Soul Dragon will follow its Bondmate, which means we can consider that Bondmate to have a summon, similar to Jing Yuan, Topaz, or Lingsha. One interesting thing I need to mention is the very high initial speed of the Soul Dragon, which is at 165 points. Of course, with this high speed, it allows us to save skill points on Danheng PT because the Soul Dragon itself will have a lot of actions in battle. Although the shields from Danheng PT and Soul Dragon cannot provide the same resistance effect as the shield generated by Aventurine, Soul Dragon can remove 1 debuff each time it takes action, making all team members feel safer when affected by enemy debuffs. One thing you should know about this talent is that because Danheng PT will frequently provide shields through his talent, Phainon's trace, named Bite in Flames, will be continuously active. The effect of this trace will provide a 45% increase in the damage dealt by Phainon. We will also discuss his technique called Earth Rend. After using the technique, it will bond the target and cause daze to enemies in an area for 10 seconds. Enemies with the daze status will not attack teammates. When switching to the active character, the Bondmate will be given to that active character. Then, at the beginning of the battle, it will automatically use skills on the character with the Bondmate without consuming skill points. The effect of this technique will be very useful at the start of the battle, so that we can immediately apply the Bondmate status and shield without having to use his skill first. But you need to remember, in order for Bondmate to be given to your main DPS, you must enter battle using your main DPS or the character you want to give your Bondmate to. Additionally, with the effect of this technique, Danheng PT doesn't have to cast skills again to provide a shield and can allocate skill points to teammates, especially when used with teams that are wasteful with skill points, such as Archer or Phainon. Next, we will move on to the traces section. For his minor traces, he will provide 28% attack, 22.5% defense, and 10% HP. The attack bonus trace will be very useful because Danheng's ultimate scales fully with attack. Other stats like defense and HP don't contribute to his kit. But it's important to remember that this character is a sustained character who needs HP and defense to avoid being easily defeated. But I really regret it because he should have been able to get a trace bonus like speed points, as he has a very low base speed, as I discussed in his base stats section earlier. Now we will move on to the main discussion of the trace. The first trace, named Empyreanity, has an effect that when using skills, will increase the attack of your Bondmate by 15% of Danheng's PT's attack. Well, the effect of this trace will make the damage dealt by your main DPS even greater. The attack buff provided depends on the attack of Danheng PT possesses, so he needs to have sufficiently high attack to maximize the buff he provides. If we do a little calculation, for example, if Danheng PT has 4000 attack points, the attack buff given to teammates with the Bondmate is 600 points. That number is quite big considering that Danheng is a sustain, not a buffer. For the second trace, named Sylvanity, it will advance 40% of Danheng's PT's action when the battle begins. The effect of this trace is very similar to the planner set called Sprightly Funback, as both provide an advanced forward of 40%. With this trace effect, you don't need to use Sprightly Funback, and can use other planner sets like Lushaka the Sunken Seas to provide a little energy regeneration and attack buff to your main DPS. Then, for the third trace, named Sublimity, when your Bondmate launches an attack, Danheng PT will recover 5 energy and the action of the Soul Dragon will be advanced by 15%. The effect of this trace will make the Soul Dragon faster to gain action and provide additional energy to Danheng PT, allowing him to quickly launch his ultimate. Additionally, the effect of this trace has no specific duration, meaning characters who can attack frequently, such as Anaxa, will make the effect of this trace even better. Finally, we are entering the final part of his kit, which is the EIDOLON section. For the first EIDOLON named Shed Scales of Old, when Danheng PT uses his ultimate, it will restore 1 skill point and increase the Bondmate's all-type resistant penetration by 15% for 3 turns. This EIDOLON has a great effect for increasing the damage of your main DPS, as this all-type resistant penetration is a useful buff against any enemy, especially those who don't have a weakness type that matches your main DPS. For additional skill points, this will certainly give Danheng a more positive skill points management, and will be very useful for teammates like Archer who require a lot of skill points. For the second EIDOLON, named Watch Trails to Blaze, it will provide an additional 2 times enhancement effect from his ultimate, making the total enhancement given to the Soul Dragon to 4 times. Then, after Danheng PT uses his ultimate, the Soul Dragon's action will be advanced by 100%. When the enhanced Soul Dragon takes action, the damage multiplier will increase by 80% of the Bondmate's attack, plus 80% of the Bondmate's attack type damage to the enemy with the highest HP. Honestly, the effect of this EIDOLON is really good, guys. How could it not be? This EIDOLON can provide additional enhancement used to strengthen the Soul Dragon a total of 4 times, which will automatically double the damage dealt. Additionally, attacks from the enhanced Soul Dragon will receive an 80% bonus from the Bondmate's attack, plus an additional 80% attack against boss or elite enemies who tend to have high maximum HP. This EIDOLON will make the total damage of the enhanced Soul Dragon 160% of the Bondmate's attack, plus another 80% for the enemy with the highest HP. This effect will certainly cause the damage inflicted by the Soul Dragon to increase drastically, especially since the Soul Dragon will immediately react every time Danheng PT launches his ultimate. Next, for the fourth EIDOLON, named by Oath, this vessel is I. When a Bondmate deals damage, that Bondmate will ignore 12% of the enemy's defense. Although this EIDOLON has a very simple effect, it provides a quite useful impact because the defense ignore from this EIDOLON is almost permanent as long as your main DPS is a Bondmate. Additionally, this EIDOLON will also grant defense ignore to all types of attacks delivered by your Bondmate teammates, making it suitable for many main DPS characters, especially those that scale with attack. For the final EIDOLON, named Wandering to Enfold All Wilds, when a teammate with the Bondmate is on the field, it will increase the damage received by all enemies by 20%. When Danheng PT uses his ultimate, his Bondmate teammates will deal additional damage based on the type of the teammate with the Bondmate, which is 330% of the Bondmate's attack. Damage from this Bondmate is considered as 1 attack. The effect of this final EIDOLON is quite good for increasing teammates' damage output, thanks to enemies taking more damage. Additionally, Bondmate teammates will deal extra damage every time Danheng PT casts his ultimate. meaning the attack from Danheng Permansor ultimate will increase depending on the amount of attack possessed by teammates with the Bondmate status. Finally, we've reached the end of this video, which is none other than a discussion about his signature lightcone, named Though Worlds Apart. This lightcone will increase the user's attack by 24% and shield effect by 30%. Additionally, when the user casts their ultimate, it will restore HP equal to 10% of the user's attack to all teammates and grant all team members redoubt stack for 3 turns. Teammates with redoubt will deal 24% more damage, which will increase by another 12% if the teammate has a summon. Well, the effect of this lightcone is very suitable for Danheng PT, as it provides an attack increase, which is an effect not found in other preservation lightcones. Additionally, the effect of increased damage to all teammates is quite useful for further boosting the team's damage output. It's important to note that teammates with summons will receive an additional 12% for a total of 36% increased damage. So you should give Bondmate to your main DPS to be considered as having summons. It can be said that the alternative lightcones for Danheng PT are quite limited, considering the abundance of preservation lightcones that provide defense boost. Therefore, I highly recommend you get this lightcone so that your Danheng PT's shield can be stronger. Additionally, if it's true that Danheng PT is given for free and you are free to play, you only need to do gacha for his signature lightcone. Okay guys, that's probably it. What do you think about this character? Are you planning to pull this character in version 3.6? Please type in the comments down below and don't forget to check out my other videos because they are just as cool. Thanks for watching, stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video.